start from 6, 5. Let's go racing! All 22 super late models have fired up. There were 23 in the house. 40 car Kurt Tillman with some issues in practice did not make qualifying, did not race. So 23 enter, 22 line up to go 100 laps. Go racing. Next 9 miles. .100 green flag laps. The 23rd Car Corner All-Star 100 is ready to go. Jeff Holtz off the hill to the lead. Snyder and Baker go at it for second. Olsen and Weinkauf door to door. Baker a little wobbly into 3. Put Trent Snyder to second. Olsen thought about 3 wide. Thought better. Still on the bottom. Baker to 3rd. Weinkauf wants 4th. Here comes Reynolds in the X car. Jeff Holtz, the early leader. Tight in the middle on the bottom with Kraus and Majeski and Andrew Morrissey. Several contenders in that wad of cars from about 8th place on back. Nason wants to go, pounding in the back end of the 9 at Kraus. Majeski ahead of Kraus. Morrissey and Johnson want to follow through. Spinner in 1 and 2. It's the 13 of Mikey Briner. Yellow flag out. 3 complete, 97 to go. And the car that started on the tail of the field brings out the first caution flag just 3 laps into the 23rd All-Star 100. Last year this race went 91 laps uninterrupted by yellow until a yellow flag in turn 3 with 9 laps to go. Now the leader on the high side, Holtz, will set the pace. 1 lap from green, 98 to go. When they click them off, they'll begin to click them off quick. The matter of separating them out. 2, 4, 6, 8 cars choose the bottom. 9 with Church. Car corner pace vehicle to the pits. They're under the control of Jeff Holtz and Trent Snyder. Snyder takes a dive to the inside of Jeff Holtz and takes what's his. Snyder and Holtz battling deep in the field. Majeski went 3 wide. New leader Trent Snyder. Boy, and they are not wasting time in the middle of this field. Majeski goes after Reynolds for 5th. Olsen into 7th. Nason, Decker, and the 39 of Andrew Morrissey scrambling. Majeski wiggles off of 4, but keeps it pointed the right way. Holtz will go back after Trent Snyder for the lead. Baker settling in. A good 3rd place early on for Ricky Baker with pressure from Weinkauf. Reynolds runs 5th. 9 of Kraus off the pace, off of 4, lost a little ground. He battles with fast qualifier Paulie Schaefer, who's deep in the field. Up front, Trent Snyder plays defense with the 2nd place car at Jeff Holtz. Top 4 single file. For 5th, they scramble. Majeski takes a peek to the inside of Reynolds. Good racing back behind them with Nason and Decker and Morrissey, and now Casey Johnson. Holtz to the inside of Trent Snyder for the lead. Not quite for Jeff Holtz, but he's still glued to that second groove on the bottom. Weinkauf plays bumper tag with Baker for third. Majeski all over the back end of John Reynolds Jr. for fifth. Here comes Nason on the back end of Olsen, who runs the middle of the speedway. Morrissey and Decker go side by side. Third and fourth, catching first and second. Fifth on back, they're all over the place. Majeski again to the bumper of Reynolds. Fender to fender they go. They've done that a lot tonight. Morrissey peeks to the inside of Nason. That'll be for 8. 11 into the All-Star 100. Snyder touches the 61 of Rubeck. Paulie Schaefer. And he doors Rubeck in 1. That's deep in the field. Rubeck gives it to Schaefer. Here comes Weinkauf. Mercy. And here comes Weinkauf just trying to get through. That's in the middle of the field. Jeff Holtz looks for the lead to the inside of Trent Snyder. Battle for first, battle for third, heck, a battle for fifth. In the rapid fire All-Star 100 race here at Rockford Speedway. Majeski and Reynolds, fender to fender for fifth. Inches apart, high speed off the fourth corner. Johnson got around Decker, put Casey Johnson in 10th. Natalie Decker outside the top 10. Trent Snyder leads at 15 complete, 85 to go. The battle for fifth heats up again and 1. Majeski and Reynolds, oh so close. Fire off the stack of Reynolds. Sparks fly as the two cars close on each other. Reynolds, oh, Olsen, everybody shakes behind him. Olsen slowed, Nason got him. Morrissey to the inside of Austin Nason. Andrew Morrissey's got a fast car. Johnson will dive to the inside with Morrissey as they together in tandem make their way through the field. Holtz again going after Snyder. Majeski in the fifth around Reynolds. Morrissey to the inside of Olsen. That'll be for 7th. Johnson and Nason get together off of 4. Johnson sideways and around he goes. Casey Johnson in turn 2 goes around. The yellow flag flies. The second yellow flag. The car corner All-Star 100. Majeski closed the deal for 5th on Reynolds a lap or 2 before the yellow flag. The troubles are that Jason Weinkauf in the 76 off the pace on the back straightaway. That car may be grinding to a halt. So troubles for Jason Weinkauf, and they've been fighting that car all day long. We mentioned earlier in the evening that Jason in that 76 had very little track time. Had ignition problems in that car earlier. In the last practice, it was 3rd quickest. They got it going, but now, whatever electrical gremlins were plaguing him, he gets it back running. May elect to stay in the back. We'll see. Or maybe he's got great confidence. It's running now. He does, and he'll head back. Watch that 39 of Andrew Morrissey on the bottom right now, but he was making some moves there a few moments ago. He and Johnston were marching through the field together, but now Casey Johnson will head to the end of the longest line, along with Kraus, who bucked in. We'll see if Casey Johnson in 82 laps can fight back forward. He came into tonight in the top 3 in Midwest Tour points. Behind Morrissey, behind Majeski. Coming to green, 82 to go. It's Trent Snyder and Jeff Holtz. And they're going to go right at it into turn 1. Holtz on the bumper, yellow out, I think. We'll try that again. Tommy White, our official series starter, gets a tad persnickety on the restarts. And I don't think he liked that one bit. A little slamming and sliding. Watch Tommy in that starter stand get as demonstrative as Tom White will get. All right, let's try it again with Snyder and Holtz up front. If they mess around too much, they could be penalized. This looks better. As good as it's going to get, I think. Holtz went in a little bit too hard that time, I think, on Snyder, and Snyder able to squeak away. Now Ricky Baker wants second. Ty Majeski springs to fourth. Majeski up high. Wants third. Holtz in a tight spot. Weinkauf trying to settle back in. Morrissey and Decker touching into turn one. Reynolds on the bottom trying to make that end of it go. Majeski works on Jeff Holtz for third. Morrissey doing all sorts of stuff to try and move forward. Reynolds holding him up a tad. Reynolds sideways gets into Decker as they battle for position. That's for 7th and 8th. Holtz getting back in a rhythm, chasing down Ricky Baker for second. Paulie Schaefer's now gotten among the lead group on that last yellow. Reynolds off the pace. Reynolds in the X car off the pace. It looks like his night is done. Top four have broken away with Snyder leading, Baker, Holtz, and Ty Majeski. Reynolds to the infield. Good night to the X. Jim Olson wants fifth. Sideways, catches. Look out, Nason in the air. Yellow's going to end up coming out of the lead. Yellow flag on the speedway. Jim Olson went after the fifth spot, going to the inside. I think it was fifth or sixth, going after the 75 of Weinkauf. They got together just enough, and everybody backed up behind him, and Austin Nason ended up ramping off the 75 of Chris Weinkauf. Nason's car disabled. Both Weinkaufs head to the pit area. 75 Chris, 76 Jason. 28 of Jake Finney to the paddock area. Reynolds takes the X to the pits for the night. And Austin Nason's 14 comes to a stop at the edge of turn number 4. 78 to go, 22 through the All-Star 100. Here we go. Snyder leads them from the high end. Baker on his wing. Baker wants the lead. Majeski's right there. Ricky Baker leads. Majeski to the inside of Snyder. They're tight. Baker leads it. Snyder on his back end. Majeski second. Ty wants the lead. Holtz is right there. Natalie Decker wants fifth. Morrissey tied to her back bumper. Oh my goodness! Majeski to the lead. Holtz on his bumper. What a move! I don't know what happened there. There goes Decker closing up as Snyder begins to fall. Holtz and Baker battle for second. Look at Jeff Holtz ride the horse. Jeff Holtz chases Ty Majeski for the lead. Snyder and Decker and Olson battle for fourth. The 7 of Schaefer, the 39 of Morrissey go after each other as well. A quarter of the way through the All-Star 100. It's Ty Majeski and Jeff Holtz with Ricky Baker in third. The top three separate themselves a little bit from the balance of the field. Trent Snyder holds fourth. Jim Olson in the top 5. Majeski freewheels off the corner, but look at Jeff Holtz stick with the 91. Decker and Schaefer side by side. Around goes Decker. Yellow's out. Caught, I believe, Morrissey. Andrew Morrissey in that one. A 5 of Johnson just spinning to avoid. So Natalie Decker, who was really going after Jim Olson in 5th place, brings out the yellow caution flag. Her and Andrew Morrissey, I believe, will head to the back end. 5 laps completed in that stanza, still 73 to go. All right, they're picked and they're choosed, and Ty Majeski up in front of the field, looking to become just the 3rd repeat winner of this All-Star 100. Dick Trickle did it 4 times, including the first Tuesday night special in 1978. The great Joe Shear was a 3-time winner of this All-Star Sprint. We're 1 lap from green. Well, the leader sets the pace, and he didn't do it there. And Tommy White ain't even going to give that the light of day. Leader sets the pace, and typically, despite what you may have seen throughout the night tonight, the lead sets the pace somewhere about that number 3 in turn 3. The restart fire line officially off of turn 4. You see it going down towards the speedway off the wall. Majeski wasn't ready, and you can see Holtz was ready in turn 2. He knows he's got to do it, though. He knows he's got to, and I don't want to say it derogatorily, if that's a word, but he's got to cheat just a little bit to get ahead of Majeski, perhaps, the hottest late model driver in America. 73 to go. Long ways to go. Even if you don't get the lead here, you got 72 more laps to do it. How about Ty Majeski? No! Well, they've both done it now. Now, Tommy White is going to get as furious as you've ever seen Tommy White since the last time you saw it. Up in the starter stand. What's the matter, he says. Do it again. Tommy, am I ready to fly away up there? All right. Third time's a charm here, I think. All right, easy does it. If this don't work, nothing will. We are green. And Majeski races off the 2 to the lead. Baker and Holtz for second. Olsen ahead of Trent Snyder. That's for fourth. Holtz back to second. Look at Paulie Schaefer working through the field, and that's 7. Inside of Snyder, that's for fifth. Island tiptoeing forward, 2 and at 77. Rubeck and Wallace go at it. Majeski by 2.5 car lengths and extending the lead on Holtz. Snyder and Olsen for fourth. Schaefer trying to find the right hole. Olsen alone on the bottom. Paulie Schaefer wants fifth. Through the field, Paulie Schaefer, a little bit of elbow grease and determination, and he's in fifth. Olsen settles into 6th ahead of Island. Wallace 8th from deep. 9th is Rubeck. Kosirik 10th. Majeski leads him, 68 to go. Casey Johnson trying to fight forward, trying to get back in the top 10. Dives below Matt Kosirik. Casey Johnson is back in the top 10. Snyder working on Baker for third. Remember, they were rumbled for the lead not that long ago. 3 Chicagoans, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Now the field for the first time tonight really beginning to spread out around Rockford Speedway. Olsen still chasing Schaefer in 5th. And Island there with that group of 3. Look at Majeski and look at Holtz run away. Snyder looks again inside of Baker, who's trying to hold on for the top 3. It'd be his best run of the year. Snyder's had very few runs this year, but loves this speedway. Schaefer ready to pounce on whomever wiggles. Ty Majeski begins to leg out his lead on Jeff Holtz. Schaefer beginning to catch Snyder for 4th. To begin to click him off with a 100-lap sprint. 20 of Dan Church to the infield. His night is done in the upright 20. Coming up on 40 complete and 60 to go very soon. Ty Majeski looking to start his year 3 for 3. Rubeck and going to the inside of Wallace. Johnson's already found his way around him. Casey Johnson up to 8th. Rubeck to 9th. Kosirik and Wallace go at it for 10th. Reynolds trying to get back into the top 10 of the X-Car. 3rd on back. Single file, close quarters. 59 to go. Majeski by half a straightaway on Jeff Holtz. Schaefer goes after Snyder for 4th. Paulie Schaefer wants 4th. Baker makes a little space between he and the rest of that group behind him. So Ricky Baker in 3rd. Casey Johnson has caught that group. The 5 is on the way. Johnson trailing Island in. That'll be a battle for 7th. Ty Majeski begins to lap cars, 7 laps from halfway. Schaefer chases the 88 of Snyder in, going for 4th. Baker not able to make enough ground with Snyder. One slip and it'll be a free-for-all for 3rd off of 4. Here goes Schaefer, peeking on Snyder for 4th. Olsen right there too. Johnson has fallen off of Island a little bit. Casey Johnson settles into 8th. Jonathan Island, 77, in 7th. Wants 6th from Jim Olsen in the 24. 2 from halfway, next time by. Snyder really working to hold 4th with Schaefer filling up his mirror. Those 3rd through 7th place cars race in close step. They're a half a track behind Ty Majeski, who's going to the whip. Now Snyder begins to chase Baker for 3rd. Leader Majeski in turn 3. This time by it'll be halfway complete. 50 scored, 50 to go, halfway through the All-Star 100 for Seymour, Wisconsin's Ty Majeski. The battle still for 3rd, at least from 3rd on back. Baker still holding 3rd for now as Majeski begins to breeze through lap traffic. Jeff Holtz continues to hold 2nd, looking terrific in the 38. Business picking up a little bit in front of Majeski with some battles between cars in the tail end of the lead lap. Meanwhile, a 7th place battle in turn 3. Casey Johnson takes what's his. Put Johnson in 7th ahead of Island, who falls to 8th in the 77. 8-car Josh Wallace to the pit area. His All-Star 100 is done. Lead 2 in another zip code. Majeski and Holtz. Weinkauf looking to stay on the lead lap. You can't see the driver's side door. It's gone after Nason ramped off Weinkauf. 75! Oh, and Weinkauf and the leader Majeski get together and the yellow flag is out. Oh my goodness sakes alive. The leader Majeski and the 75 of Weinkauf, who was giving absolutely no ground to Ty Majeski, and the leader appears to be toast. The wind net is down, and this changes everything. What in the world could have happened? So you gotta wonder how that happened. Ty Majeski out of his car. The ARCA Midwest Tour point leader, my goodness. And you gotta wonder, as we speculate here in the booth amongst Media Row, was Weinkauf trying to get out of Majeski's way, and was Majeski just trying to hustle by too quick? And they both changed lanes at the same time. Of course, they're not communicating with each other, both those cars. They're just trying to go for one spot. And they found the wrong place at the same time. So Ty Majeski, the race leader, involved in this yellow caution flag. It's like all of 4 cars picked the bottom, 4 pretty good ones. Baker, Schaefer, Johnson, Rubeck. 1 away from green, 46 to go. Jeff Holtz is your leader. He's going to try and pull the string on him. Baker on the inside, 46 to go, and this now is totally unpredictable. All-Star 100 back to green. Oh, Snyder and Schaefer wiggling. Schaefer wants 3rd. Here goes Pauly. Casey Johnson is there. Olsen gets a position thrown backward at him, now 2. He goes to 7th. Steve Rubeck in 6th. The race is long in the tooth, and Steve Rubeck is in the hunt. Natalie Decker fighting back forward around Jonathan Island. Schaefer and Snyder door to door. Jeff Holtz is the leader. Island way up the hill in 3. Casey Johnson wants 4th to the inside of Schaefer. Watch that boy in the 5. Fender to fender with Pauly. So close. Schaefer holds 4th. Here comes Rubeck. Those two have battled a multitude of times here. Snyder wants 2nd from Baker. Snyder and Baker will throw down again. Baker holds it. Schaefer runs it on Snyder. Yellow in turn 2. It's Island. Island to a dead stop in the 77. He got kicked out of the groove, and then I think maybe that car is laying down a bit and he just wanted to get out of harm's way. I don't know. But he was in, I believe, 7th, and then left the speed, or rather left the top 7 and stopped. He's going right to the pits. Got to wonder if it's a tire perhaps on Jonathan Island's car. Not many have. There might be 1 or 2 more on that list. I know those are the 3. Harry Schuler's a short track win away. Rich Bickle is a spring classic win away. Maybe Rubeck can do it tonight. 1 lap from green. He's going to really have to work for it. In what has become an absolute battle of attrition and show of unpredictability. Island back in the 77. He'll tag the end of the line. Holtz and Baker first double row. Holtz from the high end. Back to green. Holtz in front of Baker. Careful. Baker wants the lead. Reynolds and Olsen trade paint in the middle of the field. Johnson to the high end of Schaefer for 4th. Trent Snyder into 2nd. Baker will try and slam the door before Johnson can get there. Casey Johnson, the door is open. He wants 3rd. There goes Casey Johnson. Side by side for 3rd. Baker falling back. Baker into the back end of Johnson. Kick save and a beauty. Kick save and a beauty. Johnson wants 2nd from Snyder. Oh, Jeff Holtz, your leader. Casey Johnson of Edgerton, Wisconsin wants 2nd. Rubeck and Olsen battle. Johnson and Snyder get together. A calamity in 3 and the yellow's out. My goodness. Snyder involved. Rubeck ended up over there. Baker is stopped. Johnson got away, but will he be penalized? Not that he'll go too far back at this point. That one developed way too quickly. Ambulatory crew headed there. Rubeck's car pointed up towards the track. Steve Rubeck in 61 pointed towards Trent Snyder in 88. Ricky Baker on the bottom of the 52 is able to drive away. He may have done more spinning to avoid than anything else. Work through that speedy dry time or 2 more. It looks to be blowing off pretty good, and if they pick up a little speed, that would be encouraged. Timmy Noble's got the pace vehicle going, but everybody seems to be giving it the thumbs up. All right, then, let's go racing. To go yet. It's becoming a good old-fashioned Saturday night scramble. Holtz and Baker bring them. Baker's going to try it again. Holtz tries to hang on. Olsen goes at Schaefer for 3rd. Schaefer tries to stick his nose in on Baker. Baker trying to play defense and offense. My goodness. Schaefer outside of Baker. Oh, Pauly up near the cement. Jim Olson wants third. Reynolds is in fifth. Johnson trying to fight back through again in that 5. The X-Car wants fourth. He's on it. 38 to go. Olson still fighting Reynolds for fourth. Decker sixth. Johnson to the outside for seventh on Island. Reynolds and Olson together. And that's all that happens there. No fluid, no bent race cars. This should be a fairly quick yellow flag as Jim Olson, who was in the top 5, really scraping with Reynolds in the X car, brings out the yellow caution flag again with 38 to go. 22 cars started this race. I think Casey's past 50. All right, Olson is gone, and we're one away from green with still 38 to go. Baker's still there. Ricky Baker's still hanging in, feeling like he can win this one now. 10 on the track, 9 on the lead lap. Down 35 laps is Weinkauf in the 76. Everybody else still in contention, still in play. Schaefer and Reynolds will battle for third. Baker will chase Holtz for the lead. Casey Johnson into fifth. Natalie Decker almost ran out of room in 3. Johnson tries to make a decisive move to the outside of Reynolds for fourth. Instead turns it like a doorknob for fourth to the bottom side of Reynolds. Jeff Holtz got away on the start. Johnson and Reynolds for fourth, just like they battled for the win at short track a year ago. Schaefer goes after Baker. Decker on the back end of Johnson, wiggles him a bit. Natalie Decker feeling the fire. Away goes Jeff Holtz. Schaefer wants second. They all know they're running out of time. Of all things, in a feature this long, they're running out of time as Jeff Holtz sails off. Johnson peeks on Reynolds. Reynolds gives him some room. Decker and Island and Krause are there too. Baker riding high in second. May give it to Schaefer. We'll see. Closing up on 30 laps to go. There goes Johnson, taking a look again to the inside of Reynolds, who wiggled into the corner just a bit. Johnson just about caught the X in 2. They both scatter away. Jeff Holtz extends the lead in 38. Then it's Baker, then it's Schaefer. They've gotten away. Reynolds may be holding up the line. What's left of the line from fourth on back. Decker peeks to the inside of Johnson. Johnson on Reynolds' bumper, and there he goes. Fender to fender for fourth. 70 scored, 30 to go for Franksville, Wisconsin's Jeff Holtz. Decker again peeks on Johnson. Island takes a look to the inside of Decker. Reynolds slows up into the corner. Johnson had no choice but to bump him going in. Holtz sailing away. Decker to the inside of Johnson. Natalie tries. She may just want to wait. Island to the inside of Natalie for sixth. Reynolds and Johnson continue to go at it for fourth. Holtz with half a straightaway on Baker and Schaefer, second and third. Jeff Holtz leads the All-Star 100. Johnson and Reynolds bump. Casey Johnson, fourth. Schaefer wants second. Now Johnson plays beat the clock. Holtz with a big lead. It's Jeff Holtz's All-Star 100 to lose with 75 complete, 25 to go. A nearly straightaway advantage for Jeff Holtz. Schaefer working Baker hard. Boy, Baker's been good all night. Schaefer's came from deep. Johnson's passed everybody 17 times, and he's closing up on second and third. Look at Casey Johnson go. Johnson catching Schaefer, and Baker was sideways on his own. Schaefer finished him off. To second goes Schaefer, to third goes Casey. Baker wiggled into one on his own, and Schaefer finished him off. And now Paulie Schaefer second of the All-Star 100. Casey Johnson third as that 5 car begins to bottom out. Reynolds tries to hold on to fifth. Natalie Decker goes after Reynolds. 21 to go. Johnson a car length off of Paulie Schaefer. Decker going after Reynolds for fifth. Still a straightaway. The advantage for Jeff Holtz. 20 to go. 80 scored. Casey Johnson not just chasing the win, but chasing perhaps the ARCA Midwest Tour point lead. Headed to Gateway. All over the back end of Schaefer. Schaefer could say the same thing. Johnson is there, filling up the mirror of one Paul Schaefer Jr. Look at Casey Johnson stalking that 7 car. Straightaway advantage for Jeff Holtz. He's cruising now in a largely open track with just 2 handfuls of cars running at the end of this one. Johnson peeking inside of Schaefer. Laps ticking away. 16 to go and Holtz gets back. Baker solidly in fourth. Reynolds playing defense to hold on to the top 5. The longer Johnson can't get past Schaefer, the closer Jeff Holtz gets the victory. Schaefer plays defense, but pays the price, and Casey Johnson won second. Side by side. Close. Schaefer holds it. 14 to go for the leader, Jeff Holtz. Schaefer holds second. They were among the top 3 in the Dixieland 250 last year, and they raced in this All-Star 100. Schaefer second, Johnson third. A straightaway off of Jeff Holtz. A lucky 13 to go. Oh, Schaefer near the wall on his own. Casey Johnson's a spot away. 12 to go. And a straightaway. Oh, Schaefer with trouble. Might be a tire on Schaefer. Will Johnson get the yellow? Can Schaefer hold on? Baker trying to get back to third. A long ways between Holtz and Johnson. 11 to go. Paulie Schaefer having some big issues in that 7. Jonathan Eiland wants 6 to the inside of Natalie Decker. 10 to go. 10 to go in this All-Star 100. The lead at 3.4 seconds for Jeff Holtz. That's a straightaway at Rockford Speedway. Seven laps and counting to go for Jeff Holtz in the biggest upset in All-Star 100 history. Still a steady lead on Casey Johnson. Schaefer holding on to third. Baker in fourth. Reynolds fifth with Eiland closing in. Can Jonathan Eiland race into the top 5? Kraus and Decker race down the straightaway. Eiland on the back end of Reynolds. 5 laps to go. 5 to go for Jeff Holtz. Good battle for fifth off of 4 between Reynolds and Eiland. Eiland and Reynolds continue to battle for fifth into turn 3. Eiland takes a peek to the inside of Reynolds. Reynolds holds it. Slight cut into the lead by Johnson, but not enough. 3 to go. Eiland and Reynolds continue to go after one another. 2 to go for Jeff Holtz. One more group of lap cars between he and the All-Star win. How's this going to play out? We've seen it before. 3 wide through traffic. Holtz got through. Decker's off the pace. Decker's off the pace. 1 to go for Holtz. 1 lap to go. Eiland and Reynolds keep on battling. They keep battling for fifth. Rounding third and heading home, the biggest win in Jeff Holtz's life is the All-Star 100. unbelievable. Second to Johnson. Schaefer third, Baker fourth, Reynolds fifth in the X car. Oh my. The most unpredictable, unreal 100 laps I've ever seen. John Reynolds Jr. fifth in the X car. A great night for him. Ricky Baker fourth in the 52. Paulie Schaefer in third in the 7-year fast qualifier. How about Casey Johnson all the way up to second about 10 different times? But the winner in the victory area just picked up the biggest win of his racing life, and there is no doubt about that. The upset winner of the Car Corner All-Star 100. The Barker's Reconditioning Greater Milwaukee Auto Auction sponsored number 38. Unbelievable. We'll get him out of the car. Since we've went a little long in the tooth, we'll talk to just the winner. He'll have enough to say or he'll have nothing to say, one of the two. Oh my goodness. Well, that shakes up the points headed to Gateway, there's no doubt about that. Johnson and Schaefer and Island have put themselves in contention for a championship. As we're a quarter of the way through the ARCA Midwest Tour Chase. The winner of the 23rd All-Star 100 is out of Franksville, Wisconsin. He's a former Mid-American champion. He's won here before in those cars. He's won in about every car he's ever raced, but he's never won anything quite like this. And he'll wear the wreath at Rockford Speedway as the winner of the Car Corner All-Star 100. How about a nice round of applause for Jeff Holtz? Jeff Holtz in the victory area. Yeah, winner. Good grief. Jeff Holtz, I've said this to you before, but I'll say it now in a super late model. Welcome to Rockford Speedway Victory Lane. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. That seemed like the longest race I ever was in.
It seemed like it to me, too.